Let's go. We back on episode 2, family. This is the Accountability Call podcast with Ahmad Shaw.
Jack Posey.
Yes, sir. We're going to take you through today. We're going to take you through what we do on a Monday day, beginning of the week, how we set ourselves up for success. And we're just going to walk through that process. So let's get it. Once again, Ahmad Shaw. I play at St. Vincent College. I'm a football player, engineering major, prefect/RA in the freshman dorms. This is a Monday routine. Go ahead, Jack.
Yeah, again, I'm Jack Posey. I'm a sophomore at Penn State. I'm a close defenseman for the men's lacrosse team, and I'm a aspiring business major. So with that being said, with what Ahmad just said, the way we start our week for success is by creating goals, listing out habits we want to do, and listing habits we want to stop and kind of kick out. And the way we do that is by setting up something we call a 3-2-1. So I'm going to have my guy Ahmad explain what the 3, the 2, and the 1 stand for.
Okay, back. So what is a 3-2-1? Let's start it. 3-2-1. I don't know. I think I actually came up with the idea. It was one day during the summer. It just came to me. You know, I don't know what I was doing. And I had hit up Jack. I'm like, hey, bro, let's start this thing. I'm like, let's call it a 3-2-1 and let's do it. So the whole premise, the whole design behind the 3-2-1 is 3 goals, right? So 3 goals for the week. 2 habits. So 2 habits you want to work on or put in for that week, and a 1 for 1. 1 for 1 being 1 good thing in and 1 bad thing out. So for me, a lot of this summer, it was always, I'm gonna stop eating a certain food and I'm gonna put some other food in, right? So for y'all, for the audience, that 1 is, I would say the 1 is the most tricky thing. It's one thing that you want to take out of your day-to-day life that you do, but you also have to put something in that'll replace that and make you align you so you can take another step for that week, right? So 3-2-1, once again, 3 goals, 2 habits, and a 1 for 1. So go ahead, Jack.
There we go. And one thing that's really cool that Ahmad brought up is during the summer one day, he literally just hit me up, sent me a picture of his 3-2-1. He's like, this is what we're doing for the week. And we're just going to take it and run with it. And literally that was, probably early summer. It was probably a month after we started calling, and we didn't really know what was going on when we first started, talking to each other. But once he brought up that 3-2-1, that idea just popped in his head. Almost literally every week since we've done it. We've taken a couple breaks here and there, but the 3-2-1 has been something that's really helped me and really helped Ahmad and helped us hold each other accountable because we know where each other's heads are at going into the week and what we want to maintain and continue to work on throughout the week. So
exactly.
With that being said, now you guys are going to get to watch Ahmad and I go through the process of designing and creating our 3-2-1s. So this is what a normal Monday morning call looks like with 3-2-1s. All right. So with that being said, Ahmad, do you want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
You can go first.
Sweet. So I had a sticky note. I get the sticky note and I put it on my laptop. So every time I open it, I see my 3 goals, my 2 habits, my 1 for 1. Mine does a little different. He puts it in his notebook, but we're just gonna get going.
I put it on I'll show y'all real quick. I put it on my notebook and then I grab my whiteboard. Big old trusty whiteboard, and I write it down on there. So
let's go.
For right now, short term, we're just gonna throw it on the notebook. Also, what I do is throw it on the notebook, I throw it on the whiteboard, and I also take a picture of it. I set it as my screensaver, as my background. I don't know if y'all can see.
Good. Close enough.
This is my 3-2-1 from this past week. So I put it on the screensaver as my phone and on the whiteboard. So I wake up and I'm always seeing it. So.
All right. So before I get going on my 3-2-1 for this upcoming week, I'm going to reflect on my last one and I'll read that through for you guys. So my 3 goals last week was I want to get 100% on marketing exam. Studied a bunch, haven't got my grade back, so I don't know if I accomplished that yet. My second goal was to finish the book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I didn't finish that, but I've came to the realization that every book I read, I don't need to speed through it. So I'm taking my time on this and really trying to learn the lessons that it's teaching. And my last and final goal was to record our first talk, which we've done. The accountability call, we got it going. And that wrapped up my 3 goals. Going to my 2 habits, I wanted to do yoga in the morning for 30 minutes every day. And the second one was I wanted to do core and control drills right after my yoga. And I did 5 of each, Monday through Friday, and including Saturday morning. I did my yoga, and then I did my core and control. So I had that habit, I put it in, and I executed every single day. So that was a success. And then the one thing I wanted to bring into my life was having a clean room every night. So when I woke up in the morning, I had a clean room and it wasn't dirty. This was just really important to me because when I got my day started, I didn't have to put things away or rearrange things. I knew where everything was, and I was ready to go. So my 3, 2, 1 for this week. Let's see. What do I want my goals to be?
Hold on, Jack. Hold on, Jack.
If you want to say yours, go for it.
I just had a question. So
let's hear it.
For some of the viewers that don't particularly know, you are a student athlete, yeah?
That's correct.
So why do you do yoga in the mornings? Like, side note, but why do you feel to do yoga? Why do you feel to put that on your goal?
I think that's important for me to do yoga for a couple reasons. One, I think flexibility and stretching is super important. And that was something I used to do a bunch more. When I say a bunch more, I mean like last week. I changed up stretching for yoga just because I wanted to change it up, and there's still the flexibility portion. And being a student athlete, especially in the athletic side of things, in my opinion, being flexible is one of the best things you can do for injury prevention. And that's why I put such a focus on it. And another thing that's really important that I get from stretching and yoga is just 30 minutes to an hour in the morning just to kind of relax, kind of meditate in a way and just kind of be in my own thoughts so I can set my mind for the day and be ready to attack my goals and kind of just focus on being present in the moment. And when I focus on being present during yoga, that kind of like also sets the tone to be present throughout the day. And what I've realized is when I don't perform my best on the field or don't do my best in classes or on tests, it's because I'm mentally in another place and I'm worrying about something else. So starting off my day with yoga really helps me just kind of be present and helps me focus on what I'm doing right then. So that's why yoga was really important. And also sometimes stretching, it just kind of depends on what I'm feeling. But that's why it's super important to start my day off with that.
Sir.
Great question.
Before we jump into making your new 3, 2, 1, let me explain mine. And we'll just talk about mine and then we'll start into making the new ones. Cool?
Let's go.
So 3 goals for the week. Read up to chapter 4 in this book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. I haven't finished yet, but I'm going to get that done. Also, I had to finish a physics lab. That's almost there. Meet with one of my advisors, my engineering advisor. I had to meet with her, talk with her as far as like picking my classes for next semester. So I got that done. Core 4 times a week. 4 times a week. It was tough. Not that it was 4 times a week was not tough. No, the core was tough. But I got that done. And then shoulder work every day. That's one of my 2 habits. My 2 habits were core 4 times a week and shoulder work every day. So side note, for some of you that may not know, first practice out, dislocated my shoulder, right? Dislocated my shoulder. I was out, had to get an MRI, found out, torn my labrum. So right now, labrum is torn right here. So every day I've been strengthening my surrounding muscles. So when I do go into surgery, it'll be a faster recovery because everything else is strong. So why do I do shoulder work every day? That's why. And then my last goal, my 1 for 1, was 2 bottles every day before 8 a.m. So why 2 bottles every day before 8 a.m.? I feel for me personally, when I wake up and just wake up and hydrate, get something in me, get some water or some Gatorade or whatever in me, I feel I perform better throughout the day. I have more energy in the morning. I'm more alert. I'm more focused and locked in. rather than to say, I'm gonna wake up at, we'll say 5 a.m, and the first drink of water I'll have will be like 8 o'clock. No, it won't be that's not a recipe for success for me, right? So that was my 1-for-1. It was 2 bottles by 8 a.m.
What kind of bottles?
Oh, I got you. Hold on.
Water.
This one bottle, I just compare with my hand. Look, okay, big bottle. And then this is also a protein shake bottle, which is, decent size, probably like, I don't know how many ounces, 18 ounces.
So one thing, Ahmad, I have a question for you, and I want to kind of point this out to everybody watching. Ahmad mentioned that he has a torn labrum at the moment. That's something that I've actually gone through as well in high school. But the main point I want you guys to see, and the question I'm asking Ahmad is, even though you can't play at the moment because you have surgery coming up, how important is school for you, and why are 2 of your 3 goals related to school?
So why are 2 of the 3 goals related to school? So as a student athlete, right, I would say you have 3 parts to your life as a student athlete, right? That'd be your sport, your school, and your social life, right? So now let's break that down for me. Before, when I'm completely healthy, right, I have all 3. Now I don't have my sport. So now there's no reason for me not to excel in my school or my social life, right? So for me, if I were to, not be locked in on my schoolwork, not only do I not meet the requirements to have this prefect job, right? Being I had to keep a certain GPA, I have to do all this tutoring and all that, right? But I also have to just continue to excel on and off the field. That's part of what being Shaw is. That's part of who is Shaw, right? Regardless if one thing gets taken away, okay, I'm gonna excel in those other 2 areas, right? So why is schooling so important to me? There's no reason, there's no excuse now. You know what I mean? Maybe we could say, maybe for some people in high school or whatever, we could say, okay, sports got taken away from me. Now I don't feel well, so now I don't want to do the schoolwork, or I don't want to hang out with my friends. Yeah, maybe you could say that in high school. In college, no. It's a different ball game, we didn't go to these schools for sport. We went to this school to get a degree and come out better men than what we went in, right? So it is my priority, it's my duty to excel in these other 2 areas because I can't play sport. I can't play football. So that's why it's so important to me.
Another thing that's really cool too is he mentions that sport is something he can't do right now, but still he makes a point to work on it and work on his athletics throughout the week with core and shoulder work, even though he can't play. So he's not just sitting on his butt, doing school, hanging out with people, not doing anything. He's still trying to physically get better while he's excelling in these 2 other things. So just because he mentions there's those 3 parts and one kind of went away just temporarily, it's not like it's gone. He's still working to get better at that, but he's excelling in especially his education, because that is such a high importance in our journeys as student athletes.
Exactly. And one other thing to add to that, when you really think about it, when you really think about just me, one of those 3 got taken away, right? So now, realistically, when I come back, if I'm not playing this year, right, when I come back next year, I should be twice as better, right? And there's no way I get twice as better if I'm sitting on my butt, chilling with my feet up, eating whatever, Cheetos or whatever. There's no way that happens. So you always got to be on it. You always got to be pushing the pedal. You always got to try and take a step forward every day. So, yeah.
All right. So let's get into this week's 3, 2, 1s. Get our goals set out, and So this is what our normal conversations look like. So I know you mentioned it first, so I'll go first today for my 3, 2, 1s.
Yes, sir.
3 goals for the week. Let's see. What I got on my schedule.
Before we even jump into this, understand that this process is not bang, bang, bang. No, it's difficult. We both try to really think hard on what do we want to accomplish for next week, right? Or not next week, but this week, right? We focus on, what is important to us, what did we get done last week, and what is important to us this week. So there might be periods in this talk where we're just sitting there thinking, looking like this, but it's part of the process. It's part of us trying to figure out what do we need to get done, where do we need to be next week. So go ahead, Jack.
So while I was talking, gave me more time to think. My first goal is going to be school related, and I want to finish my extra credit assignment for accounting. And within that, so same goal, and catch up with my accounting textbook readings. My second goal, like I mentioned, I'm reading the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And like I mentioned, I'm kind of like speeding through that. So I think I said to you on our earlier call, Ahmad, instead of like trying to finish the book in the week, what I wanted to do is after I read each chapter, and there's not many chapters in this book. I don't think. There's like 8 chapters, 9 chapters.
Yeah.
After each chapter, so it doesn't kind of depending on how many chapters I read, I want to, let's go with this. There's 5 days next week. I can get 5 chapters done, and with 5 chapters, I want 5 summaries. So I'm gonna write out a summary with like the things I learned.
I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I was literally thinking that same thing. I was literally gonna tell you to write something out. Just click no summary. But hey, I'm glad that you said it because I was gonna say it.
5 summaries, 5 chapters. All right. And my last goal. What can I do? You know what I'm gonna do? My sister actually texted me, and we were kind of talking a little bit, and she had called my grandparents. So when they had picked up, it's been a while since we've seen them because of COVID. Oh. And she called them, and she said they were so happy and thankful that she had reached out. So my last goal will be to reach out to my grandparents and just talk with them. So that's 3 phone calls I got to make. 3 sets of parents. All right, so my 2 habits. Last week, my core and control was great. Got that done. And I think that's something that's really important because I haven't done that in a long time. I kind of got away from it. And I felt like not weaker, but I didn't feel as like cement and like sturdy.
Yeah.
So I'm going to bring those back in. So core and control every morning.
For one habit?
Yeah.
Core and control? Okay.
Yeah, it's one habit. Because I'll do core and then I'll do control right after.
And then for the audience, I know we talked about core, but just run through control. Like, what is control? What are control drills for them?
Sure. So control drills, something Ahmad and I have learned to love and kind of
love-hate relationship.
Love-hate for sure, but bring to our routines. And what they are is they're workouts that you all probably, if you know, great. If you don't, you can go and look them up after this. But they're workouts that you do in a very slow and controlled tempo. So you work on not rushing through. Right? You increase your time under tension. You really focus on doing the movements correctly and focusing on the right muscles.
Yeah.
Because like a lot of times you probably see this, you know, when people are like benching too, like when they're going, they bench, they bounce the weight off their chest. Like they're not really using their muscles there. Like they're just kind of using momentum. So we want to increase the time under tension with an example of like a single leg glute bridge, right? You want to go, if you're doing a single leg glute bridge, you'll go up for 2 seconds, hold for 2 seconds at the top, and then control 2 seconds going down, rather than just kind of like flying up and down really quick. So it's love-hate because one, you do a lot of them because no weight, and the time under tension, and it takes, first of all, a long time, and then by the time you're done, like we'll do 20 reps of like glute bridges, like single leg on both sides. Now like 18, 19, 20, oh my God. Like
you'd be shaking.
It's not fun, but at the same time, it's really beneficial. So that's what a control drill is. If you don't know what a single leg glute bridge is, you can go look it up. If you do, great. But there's also a bunch of different drills you can do that are considered control drills, but that's what a control drill is. For this week, I think what I'm going to do from now on is do yoga for a week and then stretch for a week and just kind of go back and forth and see how my body kind of reacts to that. Yeah. So because I did yoga for 30 minutes, I want to go back to, I'm just going to do like static stretching for an hour. So stretch.
Every day?
1 hour. Yep, every day. All right. And my 1-for-1. I was really happy with my last 1-for-1. Just being able to have my room be clean, because like I said, when I was saying earlier, just being able to wake up and be productive, like that was huge for me. And on my last accounting test, I didn't do great. And one thing that was consistent throughout that week leading up to it was every like night, I just leave all my stuff everywhere. Like my life was a mess. So I definitely feel like I'm on the right path with that. And I think because I did it every night, and like no matter what time it was, I made sure I was putting all my stuff away. I think I got that down, and that's a habit I'm going to continue to do. So I'm going to go to a habit that one thing that we've talked about, it's been on my 1-for-1 a bunch, and I struggle with it, and that's going to sleep on time.
Yeah.
And like I said, if we're waking up at like 6:50, 6:45 every morning, I want at least almost like 8 hours of sleep. So that means I want to be asleep by 11. So that was about 8 hours. Yeah, that's 8 hours. So I want to be in bed by, let's go 10:50. 10 minutes to knock out. And then out would be just the reverse, staying up past 10:50. So it's just staying up late. Got to get my homework done early, so I'm not cramming that in. And so my 3-2-1 for the week, 3 goals: accounting, extra credit, catch up in the textbook. I want to read 5 chapters and write 5 summaries. And I want to reach out to my grandparents this week. And that's all the sets of grandparents I have. And then my 2 habits, I want to do core and control every morning. And then after I'm done with that, I want to stretch for an hour. Whether that be broken up or straight through, kind of depends on, what's happening. Usually I should have enough time to go straight through. But I will get an hour of stretching done every day regardless. And then I'm going to be in bed by 10:50, and I'm going to make sure I'm not staying up late. So,
sir, and just a quick little question. What do you got to say to the people that say, "Oh, you have a bedtime"?
That's right. I got a bedtime, and I feel. All I'll say is I didn't believe. I mean, I'm not gonna say I didn't believe in sleep, but before I was calling Ahmad, I'd stay up on my phone until like 1 o'clock, 1:30, 12:30, just sitting there scrolling through Instagram, Snapchatting people. I mean, texting, just pretty much doing everything, watching Netflix, YouTube. And Ahmad brought up this point. He's like, you should be getting at least 8 hours of sleep. Because like we were working out like 2 or 3 times a day this summer. And he's like, if you're going to be working out that much, you need to be like recovering. And like, if the normal I take that back. If somebody who is not working out 3 times a day, let's say someone's just not working out at all, they're not exerting themselves as much as we are, they could probably get away with maybe staying up on their phone till like midnight or 12:30 or 1, right? But if I'm pushing myself to this extreme where I'm going to work out 2 to 3 times a day, and I'm, going to be out in the sun, it was a summer, we're going to be out in the sun all the time. I needed sleep. And like those days got hot. Like we were on turf working out, it got hot.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, if you're going to be, dedicate yourself to this life, you have to get sleep to recover. And when I say that made all the difference, like I'm such a huge believer in sleep. And for me, waking up early is important. One, because I have to call him. That's 7 a.m. That's when we call.
Yeah.
And 2, I just feel so much more productive in my day when I get up early and go. So when I got a bedtime, like I have to go to bed by then, because if I'm not in bed by 11, then I'm not getting 8 hours of sleep. And if I'm not getting 8 hours of sleep, I know my performance in the field is not going to be great. I know my studying is not going to be as focused, and I know my day is just going to be out of whack. And I'm going to be trying to take naps and catch up, and playing a catch-up game is not something you want to do.
Yes, sir.
So that's my take on bedtimes. I mean, say what you want. I'm gonna do me, and I'm gonna get my sleep, and I'm gonna feel great. So
Yes, sir.
All right, let's hear your 3, 2, 1.
All right, my 3, 2, 1. First goal for the week. Let's see. Let's go. I'm gonna take a page out of your book. We're gonna go core and control, but we're gonna go 5 days a week.
So your goal is core and control 5 different times.
Yeah.
Sweet. One thing I want to point out really quick. I put core and control in my habits. He put it in his goals. Literally, this 3, 2, 1. It can be whatever like we want, whatever we make it, as long as we know what we want to accomplish. That's all that matters. So you might be thinking like, well, Jack did this and Ahmad did that, but like it really doesn't matter like that. Whatever he thinks he needs to succeed, when I think I need to succeed, that's it. So keep going.
Second goal, my second 3. We did shoulder work every day this week, right? I'm trying to walk in. I want to walk into that hospital. My shoulder's jacked, right? So we're going to go shoulder work twice a day, every day. Last goal. Let's go. So, what a lot of the audience doesn't know, what Jack does know, I have a book club. not a book club with regular everybody else, not like with students or anything, but it's a book club with the president of the school, right?
Let's go. Big time. Big time.
Yeah. So we're reading Crime and Punishment, right? So not only am I reading Crime and Punishment with the president, I'm reading this book personally, the How to Win Friends and Influence People. Personally, I'm reading that. So for this week, my Crime and Punishment book, I want to read every day before I go to bed, whether it be in bed, before I even get in bed or whatever. I want to read every day before I get in bed or whatever.
How far do you want to get into the book?
Now that depends on how far me and the president we set as far as our next goal. So I don't really know yet how far throughout the week, but as far as the day-to-day thing, I want to read before I get in bed or in bed. Just read before I go to sleep, basically.
Yeah, read at night. Cool. What's your 2 habits? What you got?
2 habits. Okay. Now this one is kind of out of left field, right? But my brother, he told me to buy this soap. It's just African soap. He said it'll help clear your skin up and everything. So one of my habits is I want to make sure I wash my face with that soap twice a day. So once in the morning, once at night.
like I said, it can literally be anything and any style you want, whatever is going to help you not just be a better like athlete, student, accomplish goals, but like just to be a better person in general and just to look nice and clean.
Yes, sir. Um, and then my second habit, another page out of your book, and I know I gotta get back into it. Yoga. First thing when we wake up, 5 a.m. yoga. We'll get right back into it.
5 a.m.
And look, for all y'all that want to say yoga's this, yoga's that, look, if it make you feel good, if it help your performance, I don't care what you gotta say. I'm gonna do it. Right. And it makes me feel good. It helps me lock in. It brings some type of consistency to my mornings. So that's what I'm gonna do. I suggest y'all do it, but you don't have to. And then my 1 for 1 for this week. Let's see. Now this one is always the trickiest one for me.
You got to think, we've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah.
And every week we try to pick out something we don't like and kick it out of our lives and bring in something good. And the goal is when you kick something out, you don't have to worry about it anymore because you've mastered the skill or you're aware of the fact. So if we've been doing this for like how many weeks? Probably like.
Nah, we've been doing this since like, what, March, April? Like 6 months, 7 months, something like that, bro.
So we've done like 20 plus weeks of this. So that's 20 bad habits we've kicked out.
Yeah.
So it's not easy. It's not easy to think of these.
It's not. I remember in the beginning, our bad habits, like our 1 for 1s would be like, I want to kick out eating Chick-fil-A and eat some fruit. Like, though, that was easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I don't know. Shoot. Let's go. I got it. I want to stop studying. Well.
Stop studying.
I want to study. Okay, yeah. I want to study in one specific location consistently every day this week. Whether or not that be in the library, the science building, or I don't know, the cafeteria, whatever. But one consistent location every day this week.
Why is that?
Just so I can get in the habit of, okay, I'm in this environment. I'm in this study environment, not a sleep, hang out, whatever environment, but I'm in a legitimate study-only environment.
Yeah, I think that's huge. I think that's really important too, because something that I used to do was I try to do my homework in bed, or I try to go with Zoom, especially I try to do Zoom in bed like last semester, and whenever I did that, I just was not productive. So I think that's a really good way to go with this, just so you make sure you, like, once you get to that spot, you're locked in, like nothing else is coming into your mind.
Exactly. So let me run through it again real quick. My 3 goals: core and control 5 times a week. My second goal, shoulder work twice a day, every day. Third goal is to read every night. My 2 habits. First habit is to wash my face with this African soap. This thing it's called African black soap. I don't know.
Oh, I've heard of that.
Yeah.
I haven't used it, but I've heard of it.
Yeah. Second habit, 5 a.m. yoga, right? And you may ask, why 5 a.m.? 5 a.m. because when I'm up, who else is up? Right? When I'm up, who else is up? Nobody. Right? And I have a quote up on my wall, and I'm sure we'll get to this eventually in our talks, but on my wall, I have quotes everywhere, right? I have W's all up on my wall. And one of my quotes up on my wall, right next to the door, says, "Don't tell anyone what you're doing until it's done. Outside energy can throw off goals." Right? So that's why I get up at 5 a.m. I get up at 5 a.m. and I get straight to it. So there's nobody else around to, hey, what are you doing? Hey, why are you doing this? Nope. It's me locked in, ready to go. So that's why I get up at 5 a.m. And then my one for one, study in a consistent place every day this week, right? So that is, whoa, almost forgot. Almost most important part. And I'll let Jack do this one first, but we also do a word of the week.
Right? Oh, man, I forgot about this. That's right.
We got to get the word of the week. So word of the week, basically, it is what it sounds like it is. Mind you, we've been doing this for however long, so we've run through a couple of words. So it might take us to come up with a word, but,
I got one real quick.
You got one?
Yeah.
Well, hey, I take it back. Jack got one, so go ahead.
Sometimes it clicks. Sometimes you got to think. But for me, I think one thing I really need to continue to work on and develop this skill is listening. So my word for the week is just going to be listen.
Okay.
Just that constant reminder that I need to shut up sometimes. Just listen to what's going on.
I got you. One other thing I want to say before I say mine. Make sure your partner, your accountability partner, whoever, make sure, I don't know if you've noticed, but me and Jack, not only did we write our own 3-2-1s, but we wrote each other's down, right? So make sure that you are doing that so you can literally keep each other accountable, right? I could text Jack in the middle of the week, be like, hey, even if we had that call that day, I still text him, be like, hey, how are you doing with whoop-de-whoop-whoop? And just checking on him, make sure he's staying accountable and staying true to not only himself, but to me. So that being said, my word of the week, we will go, let's go push. I like push. Push in the fact that constantly getting after it, right? Not a grind, but a push, constantly going and going and going. So, yeah, we're going to go with push for this week.
I like that. All right. So we have our 3-2-1s. We've explained that's 3 goals, 2 habits, and 1 habit in, 1 habit out. We talked about our words of the week, and that is what a typical start to the week looks like for Ahmad and I. That's what our normal call is. And like he said, I wrote down his, he wrote down mine. And it's something, like you said, we can hold each other accountable and just kind of ask how it's going to check in. And it just kind of helps having somebody like that. So if I'm slacking on my reading, he tells me that after the call, especially because we do it early in the morning, right after I can open my book and read. It's actually what I did this morning. So, but that's our process. That's how we do that. And one thing we want to do from now on to end our shows is something we like to call, just a PS moment, or a PS quote. And that's Posey Shaw quote. So PS, my quote for today is, shout out my guy Samus.
Yes, sir.
He posted this one on his Instagram. I saw it and I loved it. And he quoted, and he said, every temptation is an opportunity for transformation. And that really stuck with me because we all have temptations in our life. We all see things that we really want to do. Like, let's just I baked some cookies this week. Bunch of cookies. I had a temptation that I want to eat them. But if I can resist, that's an opportunity for me to grow because mentally I just got stronger.
Yes, sir.
So that was some, just based off those cookies, I made the cookies. I fought that temptation. And the next day I read that quote on Sam's Instagram. And I was like, you know what? That resonates with me. And I like that a lot. So every temptation is an opportunity for transformation.
Yeah. That's my quote. For my quote, before I even get to my quote, shout out to Samus. That man be working. I tell you, I see every day on his Instagram, he getting that for working. So shout out to you, bro. My quote, if you sugarcoat it, you won't get the results you want, right? To be all the way honest, let's just keep it a beam. The journey that me and Jack on is not, it's few, far and wide, or whatever they say, right? It's not going to be an easy journey, right? There's no shortcut. There's no straight road. It's all windy, uphill, downhill, left, right. Trust me. The journey is not going to be easy, and we need to be able mentally to prepare for that. Not everything is sunshine and rainbows, right? And for us to be able to be honest with each other and be like, hey, it sucks, but we just going to keep going, right? And a lot of the workouts, a lot of them doing homework or whatever, like the 5 a.m., it's not something that I would do if I was just wanting to be regular, right? If I wanted to just be an okay student athlete, I wouldn't wake up at 5, right? But I have such high goals, such high standards for myself, not only for myself but my last name, and I know Jack does too. So we want to be great in our sport, and we want to be great on and off the field. So we know with greatness, it's not going to be easy. So why do I say don't sugarcoat it? Don't sugarcoat it, right? Just keep it a beam and attack the day like how you need to attack it every day. So that's why I chose that quote. So
those are our PS quotes to end this off. Thank you again for listening in. Get a little insight to how we start our weeks and how we organize our goals. And hopefully you can take something away, whether that be from our thought process or the quotes we gave you guys. So stay strong, keep going. Ahmad, keep pushing this week.
yes, sir.
And that's what we got for you for today on the accountability call.
Yeah. Catch you on the next one.
Peace.
See ya.